Here we go.
We're now being joined by Ryan Bader. If you have a question for Ryan, press the raise hand button now. We'll get started with Nolan King. Your line is live.
Hey, Ryan, you spoke earlier about how you really wanted to avenge your loss against Lyoto Machida. Can you speak a little bit more on that? And then also, you got Vadim Nemkov in this tournament too. So do you feel like this is kind of the Ryan Bader revenge tour, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. Machida, I've always wanted to revenge that loss, Most importantly, it was a long time ago, and it's a great gauge to see, where I came from when I literally knew nothing striking to where I am now, and so when he came over to Bellator, that's one fight that I always had my eye on. And then Nemkov, of course, he has a belt right now and definitely want revenge on that, with the proper preparation for that fight and weight cut going in there. I feel like it'd be a different story. And so this whole tournament's awesome though. Great guys, tough competition, every single fight. Belt's on the other side for now, so that means they got to make it to the finals and fight for the belt in the finals.
I'm just following up on that. You just kind of spoke to it, but do you feel like you've made the proper adjustments, the proper changes that if you go into these fights again against those two guys that you'll come out victorious?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was saying, Machida, I'm a totally different fighter than I was back then. 2012, long time ago. And with Nemkov, for sure, like I was saying, that was the proper time to cut the weight. I felt flat. I felt just different in there last time. And right when I was in my own head thinking, all right, I gotta get this going. This is not going well. That's where I got kicked in the head. So definitely love to go back to drawing board and get that one back. And so both those fights, especially this fight coming up with Machida, I'm a totally different person.
Last one too, I kind of overlooked it, the Rumble fight too.
Yeah, like I said earlier on the press conference, this is a redemption year, especially in this tournament. I'm not gonna get to fight all of them. I'm gonna probably get to fight two of them, potentially. So that's all I can do on my side. But this first fight in this first round is definitely one that I want back for sure.
We'll take a question from Jacob Odelstad.
Hello, Ryan.
What's going on?
Yes, so you obviously fought Lyoto Machida once before in 2012, like we've been asking. And what are the main things you learned from that loss, and what are your main improvements that you have done over all of these years?
Yeah, with Lyoto Machida, one thing is you have to be patient, but you have to be smart about when you attack. And the first time I remember thinking, man, nothing is happening in this fight. And so I thought I was getting out of the way and coming in, with the strike when I really wasn't. I was just running right into him, so my patience got the best of me the first time. But I'm a better wrestler, better MMA wrestler, better striker than I was in 2012. Better fighter overall, veteran now, smarter, game planning, and all that stuff. I've got a guy that emulates Machida exactly in the karate world. And so, we're going to have some fun with this fight. I look to put the right amount of pressure on him and look to take him out.
Dylan Bowker.
Hey there, Ryan. Appreciate you making the time here. This might be a bit of a curious question to answer here, but I'm kind of curious if there's greater redemption to be found in avenging prior losses to some of the aforementioned opponents through this field, or in regaining the Bellator light heavyweight title, like which takes precedence?
Well, I'm in a good position where I get to do one right off the bat and then the other later. I have Machida first round, and that's one, I've wanted to get back, like I was saying earlier, because I get to gauge myself and see how far I've grown from that fight when literally knew nothing in the striking department. And if I do my part, I beat him, and then, I win another fight, then I'm in the finals for the belt, and that side is definitely got some great fights, and who knows who comes out with the belt on that side. So I just need to do my part. In doing my part, I'm going to get my ultimate goal, which is get that light heavyweight belt back.
Steve Jewin.
Thank you, Ryan. Since you just mentioned that
anybody could come out of the other side of the tournament with the belt. Would it be frustrating to you if you got to the finals and it wasn't Vadim Nemkov?
No, the sport's crazy, right? And that side too is you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I would want to revenge my loss, but we're in it to fight to be the world champion and to have that belt. So whoever has that belt, I'm not going to be mad because that's going to be a tough fight no matter what between Phil Davis, Yoel, and Anthony Johnson. So it would actually bring some new blood into the division, and it'd be fun that way. But for me, the championship is the biggest part, and so that's what I'm focused on.
And you talked about how in that first fight, your Nemkov fight, the first time it was flat because you had a problem with cutting and wasn't really going well for you. But were you surprised by how fast he was in there? Because he seemed to be circling you quite quickly.
I was surprised with his footwork a little bit, kind of his in and out. I hit him with a jab early, and he kept, grabbing his eye and blinking and all that. And I got him a takedown, and then I just kind of, was flat with it the whole time. My footwork was terrible. Just felt off. It's one of those nights where, just to be honest, felt off. And I remember thinking in my head, you gotta keep slipping to that side, And when I was about to turn it around, and I thought that's when he threw that kick. It was a beautiful kick, set it up perfectly. So his biggest thing would be his footwork and how quick he could come in and out.
We'll take a question from Chris Santiago.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. We last saw you against Rumble in SCG 19. What can you say about grappling a former foe? Yeah,
it was fun. It's one of those things where, you get paid to go out there and not get punched in the face and compete, which is great. And I got, you still have those feelings going in there. And, Anthony and I were actually in the locker room, just joking around up until we went in there and competed, So it was actually good to get in there and fill each other out a little bit and have him feel my strength and in that grappling kind of world. And it was a lot of fun. And it was kind of a little build up to potentially something that might happen in the future.
Awesome to hear. And, looking at the names of the tournament, it's a Shark Tank of talents. Is there any names that in there that were that surprised you were in there, or was there some names that you're surprised that they didn't make it into the tournament?
The one Russian guy was I don't know him that well, Yags or whatnot. I have to do some studying on him, but I heard he's a very good fighter. I thought Musasi was going to be in there just from hearing stuff, but everybody else is pretty much who you would fill out that bracket with, the top guys and tough guys. And so not too many surprises at all.
Donna?
Hey, Ryan. I wanted to ask what your message, I suppose, would be to let's say the likes of Tim Johnson, Lyndon Vassell, guys whose now trajectory has been put on hold by the fact that you're down at light heavyweight. What do you say to guys like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make a heavyweight fight happen, as soon as possible, and Tim and I were talking on social media and stuff in respectful ways and saying, hey, let's do it. But then they came with this opportunity, this huge light heavyweight tournament, asked if I wanted to be a part of it. And it was something that Bellator and I agreed on, let's do it. This is huge for the promotion, huge for Showtime. And so we jumped to this tournament and, you never know how these tournaments play out, but right after I'm done with this, it's a heavyweight title defense.
If you were talking to those guys, would you tell them, hold off, see how my fight goes, or would you tell them maybe go fight each other and then come back to me?
Yeah, I respect him a lot, and like I said, we've talked on, social media and whatnot, and I would say that he's next, and I believe Bellator has said he's next, and so hold tight, and we'll get it done for sure at heavyweight as soon as possible.
Kevin?
Hey, Ryan. So, having lost to Vadim Nemkov and watching him throughout the tournament, What excites you other than, what other prospects excite you in the heavyweight division compared to the light heavyweight division? Would we see a return if you lose quickly, or do you plan on staying in the light heavyweight division longer?
If I lose in the light heavyweight division, I'm going to go back up to heavyweight and defend that heavyweight title for sure. The new guys that came over, Yoel and Anthony Johnson. Anthony hasn't fought in a while. Yoel's getting up there, but he seems not to age at all. And then guys have been around. I would say look out for Phil Davis on that other side of the bracket. I know how he is. He's a competitor. He's tough. He's a weird matchup for anybody, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made it out of there. The winner on that side. So. A crazy bracket, but those are the plans for now. Go in there, take it one fight at a time, like I did with that heavyweight tournament. And if they go win it, if I lose, I'll go back to heavyweight.
I'll take a couple more here. Jay.
Hey Ryan, speaking of Rumble Johnson, I mean, when he first started talking about coming back from retirement, he was just jacked. He was talking about coming back at heavyweight. Were you surprised to see him make the move back down to light heavyweight?
I thought he would go heavyweight. So he got big for a while with doing bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff, and I figured he'd never kind of come back down. But I grappled him in submission underground in December, and he was about the same size I was, maybe a little lighter at 230. So he can definitely make that weight, no problem. He slimmed down a bunch, and I'm excited for him. He's a good guy, and when I came over to Bellator, I was reinvigorated. I was ready to rock, and I still am. And so I'm excited for these new guys to come over and continue their career and be where they're happy.
All right, we'll move on to Abdul Patel.
Hi Ryan, how you doing, mate?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I wanted to ask you in regards to your previous fight with Czech Congo. Do you see that fight ever happening again?
He just lost to Tim Johnson, so we were going to fight him if he won, but Tim won and been looking great. So, I mean, maybe later down the road, I feel like we kind of have unfinished business, but we'll see what happens with that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I also was going to say, Scott mentioned earlier that if you stick around at light heavyweight, you potentially look at interim title in the heavyweight division. Is that something that bothers you, or is it just?
Yeah, I'm not going to stick around unless it's for the tournament. I'm going to, as soon as that tournament's done, or I get, if I lose out of that tournament, I'm going to go up and defend that heavyweight title as soon as possible. Definitely that, that heavyweights deserve that, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to win that tournament or, lose that tournament and then fight another one down there. I owe it to the heavyweight division to be the next one.
All right, one or two more here. Giancarlo.
Hi, Ryan. Just one for me. You competed against Nemkov in this new norm, like no fans, and also training through that. You did the grappling with Rumble. Does that help you psychologically in knowing that you have those performances under your belt, or maybe are some fighters a little bit more superstitious than others when it comes to that?
Yeah, it was good fighting, without the crowd, because I didn't really know what to expect. It was definitely more different than I thought. And now knowing what to expect and coming in here won't be as big of a shock, really. And by shock, meaning like not a shock at all, because you walk in, it's like you're in, you're training, and so I got to get amped up a little bit more, which the crowd used to do. So that's great having that under my belt. And then, competing always is I was staying busy and feeling those, those nerves and traveling and going to compete was great, and not only that, going to compete against somebody I potentially could fight, in this next year. And so both those things really helped, I believe.
Thank you very much, Ryan. We'll be joined here shortly by Lyoto Machida.